So I have a story for you, and I believe that this, what I'm about to say, is beneficial to a lot of people, so that they can learn, so that they can understand the gravity of sin, the gravity of drugs, and stuff like that. So it was a girl, innocent as can be, that I evangelized in Walmart, and I was just going through Walmart, and I saw this girl. I saw this girl that needed assistance. You could tell her eyes were bulging out of her head, and she looked like she was out of it. She looked like she needed counseling, a hug, all of the above. So, anyways, I stopped by her, and then I talked to her about Jesus Christ, and then I'll never forget her words. Her words were, "Are you coming from God?" You know, very innocent, like little girl. She was about 22 years old. And so I'll speed it up. And so this is what happened, okay? I evangelized her. She gave her life to Jesus Christ. I later found out that she grew up in the church, but that she was evangelized by Satanists. All she ever did with her mom was go to church her whole life, right? This girl was well kept up in the things of God. And then she met a so-called friend. This friend, piercings everywhere, lesbian, blue hair, and she evangelized her out of the church. She was like, "Oh, you believe in God?" And she made fun of her, and she mocked her. Okay, and so like the friendship grew or whatnot, and then eventually she was you know, the Bible says that bad company corrupts good character, and that's exactly what was happening to this little girl. And so basically, she had many gifts in God. She's a very prophetic, powerful woman of God, right? And now she's being corrupted by the other side. So the devil made her a target because she knew the things of God, but she didn't understand how the devil manipulates, how he'll use, you know, the coolness of, you know, I made a lot of videos on cool, and that appealed to her, to this little girl, that she was never really she never entered into that place, and so she thought that there was something there for her. So she, you know, the temptation to find out, she started following this girl, right? And this girl asked her to move in with me. After getting to know each other for a while, you know, they're becoming good friends or whatever. She's initiating her in new music, showing her different types of music to listen to, smoking weed, different things like that. And then eventually she's just like, you know, why don't you just move in with me? And she made up a story of how her mom was using her, and how she was like, the things of God were just like a big fat lie, and this and that. So evil was knocking on her door, basically, and she was answering the door. She was falling for the lie, falling for the bait, biting the bait. So she moves in with this girl. Her mom is like, "What the heck? What are you doing? Don't go. You know, you don't know this girl. You know, I have a bad feeling. No, no, no." But she's 18 at this point. She can do whatever she wants. So for 3 years, she moves out. She does her life without her mom. Her mom doesn't know anything about her. And then she comes back to her mom like 3 years later. Okay. She's like 21, about to be 22 years old. And she goes to her mom, and she's like all like a different person, like another person. This innocent girl that grew up in church her whole life, hardly had kissed a boy, hardly had ever used a bad word, you know, all this other stuff, is now coming back to her mom 3 years later, and everything about her is different. Her mom doesn't even recognize her attitude, her way of living, and this and that. But it's her daughter, and her daughter is now in a place where she's like, I don't want that life. Her daughter's like, I made the biggest mistake of my life. Take me back, please. And this whole thing. So her mom, being a mom, is like, okay, coming back in, kind of thing. But her daughter's different now. Guess what her daughter has? Her daughter has a whole lot of trauma from all the things that she saw on the other side. She saw people getting stabbed. She saw people smoking crack. She saw like the worst of the worst, like things. These were atheists that she was living with, people that had no moral compass, there was no sense of right and wrong. Everything was sin in their life, and she was living a life of the clubs and the parties and the sex and the alcohol, the abuse, everything that it comes with, everything you can think of, violence and all that. And her innocence quickly went away. So she's coming back to her mom now, like completely traumatized by things that we don't have any clue on what she saw. She mentioned some stabbings that she saw, but she didn't really want to talk about it too much. And traumatized is not even the word. And so when I was going through Walmart evangelizing, I see this girl, and like I said, she caught my eye because I was like, man, her eyes are bulging out of her head, man. She looks like she needs help. So I went up to her, and I started talking to her about God, and then she looked at me. She's like, "Oh, you coming from God?" And I was just like, "Yes." Like, what's going on? Like, you don't look okay. Spoke with her a little bit, filled her up full of the Holy Ghost, and prayed for her. Got her number. Actually, she got my number, and then she later on contacted me a couple days later. She didn't want to be on YouTube because she had people of the past thinking that they were gonna hurt her. She was like in fear of her life, kind of thing. She didn't want them to know her whereabouts. You know how that life is. For those that have lived it, you know what I'm talking about. So she's traumatized, right? So she reaches out to me, and I bring her to my Bible study. I'm praying for her. I'm casting out demons. She recently got baptized and all that. And can I tell you guys the truth? Can I not sugarcoat it? Can I just be frank with you? Because that's the only way I know how to be. This girl's really, really messed up. She's like broken. Like, we don't know how to fix her. We've done everything that we could for her. I've prayed for her. I've delivered her, demons and whatnot. We found her a place to live in a church. The church takes care of her. Her mom doesn't want anything to do with her. There's different things going on with the mother and the daughter thing there. It's not that she doesn't want anything to do with her. It's like she can't live with her because of other reasons, government, housing, and this and that. She can't afford her anymore, and it gets complicated. So this girl, we find her a place where she could stay and reside, and they're taking really good care of her. But she needs psychiatric help. Like her brain, her mind. She can't sleep at night. She's been baptized. She's given her life to Jesus Christ. We've delivered her. We've done all that, but it's not enough. It's not enough. Like, there's things wrong with her to where she needs that extra help, like medication kind of stuff. And so the church took her in, but she's like hallucinating. She's seeing things. She can't go to sleep at night, and she's like paranoid beyond belief, and she's really not okay. After everything that we've already done for her, she's still showing signs that it's like, well, we don't know how to help you, because this is like, what do you do after you've done everything that you know how to do? So she's now in a predicament where the actual rehab that she was in, they can't take care of her because she needs more help than what they can offer. So they're looking into Baker acting her and putting her in a mental institution. And obviously she doesn't want to go, and she's fighting her demons and this and that, um, and everybody's hands are tied, and we're all looking at this little girl like, what happened to you? Like, really, like, what did you see? Like, man, they must have done a number on you. She was around witchcraft and this whole thing as well, and so I broke witchcraft. I did everything, but like, she's fighting some stuff that, quite frankly, I'm not God. I'm not God. I can't do it. I can't do it. And so obviously we keep her in prayer, you know. We keep her in prayer. We keep believing for the best and all that. We have faith, but you know, she's in a predicament now where if she doesn't go into a mental institution, she's gonna be homeless. And if she's homeless, she can't take care of herself because this girl is a little petite girl that doesn't have a lot of experience out in the streets, and you know, the predators will eat her alive out here, you know. So it was a story worth sharing of the gravity of sin, the gravity of the devil. Like, once you go and dance with the devil, what can happen? And too many people take this lightly. This little girl, innocent as can be, like I told you, grew up in church, having everything catered to her, just living an innocent life, and then all of a sudden decided to try the things of the other side of the fence. She was deceived, like so many other people are, and now she's literally fighting for her life. She's not the same person as she was. She cries constantly, saying, I just want peace, I just want joy, I just want to be happy. Things that are very just normal, she doesn't have it. She doesn't have the normal life. She doesn't have a life where she can just sit still and just have a casual conversation. You know, she doesn't have that. She's like, so her name is Yesenia. I ask everybody to pray for her, but it's a real story out there.